going back to the awards in just a second, but first, one woman who knows, well, better than any, about how this all works, and I think you're having some anticipation there about what's coming up next. An incredible woman who I'm thrilled and honoured to know. Can I please get you to give a warm welcome to the founder and CEO of Global Angels, Molly Bedingfield.
I am so pleased that you're here with us. You can imagine how much work we've been doing to get this ready, and it's just so exciting to have you here. I'm going to tell you a story about some very, very special people that are connected to me, people I love, and companies that have helped us incredibly. And 2005, just after we started the charity, I got a phone call from somebody I didn't even know, wouldn't tell me his name, and he said, what would you do if I gave you $1 million to give to children's projects? And I was like, wow, well, I could do this and this, and off the top of my head. And he went, that sounds good. Well, how much would you take out for administration and operations? And I was like, well, nothing, absolutely nothing. The 100% of that $1 million will go to help children. So I said, what would you like it to do? And he says, I want it to save lives, and I want it to be in Africa. Shh. This is important, guys. Shh. Thank you. And this is Bear Grylls, actually, and yeah. And so Bear became an ambassador, and what he did, he was doing his Everest challenge. He was going to be the highest, do a world record taking a paramotor to the height of Mount Everest. And no one had done that before, and they all thought it was impossible. And there was an amazing company called GKN who, yeah, where are they? And GKN, they sponsored Bear to do this challenge, and I think the story goes that Bear was going to do it if they would also give Global Angels $1 million to give to children. And that was pretty cool. So there's an amazing story about GKN. They have something like, well, in 2005, I think they had something like 40,000 staff around the world, huge company. And their company, if they added up everything together that people raised in a year, outside of the company's giving, was something like $1 million. And Sir Kevin Smith, is he here today? Yes, he's a very good friend of mine. And he's the CEO of GKN, and he challenged the 40,000 staff with everything you raise above your normal endeavours this year, everything above that, we will match fund and give to Global Angels to give to children in Africa, save lives, up to the value of $1 million. And what I heard is, I think they raised 1.7 million above what they normally raise. Is that right? Something like that. Pretty amazing. Yeah. And why I'm telling you the story is I'm going to tell you some more, but I want to get a feel of what happens when you get an amazing person who has a celebrity, uses their platform to do great things and help charity. Then you have an amazing company who has great philanthropic endeavour, and then you have 100% promise, the Global Angels promise, that gives every penny that the public gives in donation directly to the projects to provide water, food, education, medical care, shelter for people, nothing taken out. And then you have amazing projects on the ground that use it in an outstanding way. The combination together is phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you about what happened. Then the next year, Bear did another challenge to Antarctica, and he needed a new sponsor. And Future Capital Partners, where are you? Future Capital Partners, yay. They stepped up and became angels as well. And they sponsored Bear. And then the following year, this last year, they sponsored, what was it called? You know what Bear did? He got in a rubber, what I call a dinghy, but a bit bigger than a dinghy boat, And they went through the Northwest Passage when everyone said that was impossible, and they did this amazing adventure. And together, it was to raise money for children again. And so I want to tell you what we've accomplished. With the $1 million, it's over $1 million that we've raised now because of the three ventures. But with that, we've provided 140,000 people with water in Africa. It's really exciting. Remember, that's for 10 years. And the other thing is it also includes their animals, which is great for the, So 140,000 people with safe drinking water. I have to use my glasses, I'm sorry. 4 primary and secondary schools in Kenya, in the Masai Mara, in Uganda, and Sierra Leone, which is very exciting. And those schools are providing education for 1,400 people, and these are children that come from the most disadvantaged areas in Africa. We were able to build a rehabilitation centre in Uganda for teenage mothers who'd been abducted by the Lord's LRA and made as child soldiers and raped, murdered, done terrible things, and then they'd been rescued. And we were able to build a village for 200 of them and their children to be rehabilitated in Uganda. It's very exciting. Thank you, Bear. Makes me cry, Daniel and I, where's Daniel? My son and I, we went out to Kenya last year, and it was just amazing to see these children who'd been helped and had water. Well, actually, they didn't have water. We were just about to finish the water purification plant. And then we built orphan homes in Kenya and Sierra Leone, and we provided 12,500 mosquito nets in malaria, where there's 35% infant mortality rate. And it just goes on. Midwives, medical centres. That's what we were able to do with $1 million. So that's my story.